These promises are fair, the party sure, and our induction full of prosperous hope.
Lord Mortimer and Cousin Glendower, will you sit down? And Uncle Worcester? Plague upon it! I have forgot the map. No, here it is. Sit, Cousin Percy. Sit, good Cousin Hotspur. By that name, as oft as Lancaster doth speak of you, his cheek looks pale, and with a rising sigh he wisheth you in heaven, and you in hell, as oft as he hears Owen Glendower spoke of. I cannot blame him. At my nativity the front of heaven was full of fiery shapes, of burning cressets, and at my birth the frame and huge foundation of the earth shake like a coward. Why, so it would have done at the same season if your mother's cat had but kittened, though yourself had never been born. I say the earth did shake when I was born, and I say the earth was not of my mind, if you suppose as fearing you it shook. The heavens were all on fire, the earth did tremble. Oh, then the earth shook to see the heavens on fire, and not in fear of your nativity. Diseased nature oftentimes breaks forth in strange eruptions. Oft the teeming earth is with a kind of colic pinched and vexed by the imprisoning of unruly wind within her womb, which, for enlargement striving, shakes the old beldam earth and topples down steeples and moss-grown towers. At your birth our grandam earth, having this distemperature, in passion shook. Cousin, of many men I do not bear these crossings. Give me leave to tell you once again that at my birth the front of heaven was full of fiery shapes. The goats ran from the mountains, and the herds were strangely clamorous to the frighted fields. These signs have marked me extraordinary, and all the courses of my life do show I am not in the roll of common men. Where is he living, clipped in with the sea that chides the banks of England, Scotland, Wales, which calls me pupil or hath read to me, and bring him out, that is but woman's son, can trace me in the tedious ways of art, and hold me peace in deep experiments. I think there's no man who speaks better Welsh. Out to dinner. Please, Cousin Percy, you will make him mad. I can call spirits from the vasty deep. Why, so can I, or so can any man. But will they come when you do call for them? Why, I can teach you, cousin, to command the devil. And I can teach thee, cuz, to shame the devil by telling truth. Tell truth and shame the devil. If thou have power to raise him, bring him hither, and I'll be sworn I have power to shame him hence. Oh, while you live, tell truth and shame the devil. Come, no more of this unprofitable chat. 3 times hath inly Bolingbroke made head against my power. Thrice from the banks of Wye and sandy bottom Severn have I sent him bootless home, and weather-beaten back. Home without boots, and in foul weather too? How scapes he argues, in the devil's name? Come, here is the map. Shall we divide our right according to our threefold undertaking? The Archdeacon hath divided it into 3 limits very equally. England, from Trent and Severn hitherto by south and east, is to my part assigned. All westward, Wales beyond the Severn shore, and all the fertile land within that bound to Owen Glendower. And, dear cuz, to you, the remnant northward lying off from Trent. And our indentures tripartite are drawn, which being sealed interchangeably, a business that this night may execute. Tomorrow, Cousin Percy, you and I, and my good Lord of Worcester, will set forth to meet your father in the Scottish power, as is appointed us at Shrewsbury. My father Glendower is not ready yet, nor shall we need his help these 14 days. Within that space, you may have drawn together your tenants, friends, and neighboring gentlemen. A shorter time shall send me to you, lords, and in my conduct shall your ladies come, from whom you now must steal and take no leave, for there will be a world of watershed upon the parting of your wives and you. Methinks my moiety north from Burton here in quantity equals not one of yours. See how this river comes me cranking in and cuts me from the best of all my land. A huge half-moon, a monstrous cantal out. I'll have the current in this place dammed up, and here the smug and silver trench shall run in a new channel fair and evenly. It shall not wind with such deep indent to rob me of so rich a bottom here. Not wind, it shall, it must, you see it doth.
Yea, but mark how he bears his course and runs me up with like advantage on the other side, gelding the opposed continent as much as on the other side it takes from you.
Yea, but a little charge will trench him here, and on this north side will win this cape of land, and then he runs straight and even.
I'll have it so. A little charge will do it.
I will not have it altered.
Will not you?
No, nor shall you not.
Who shall say me nay?
Why, that will I.
Let me not understand you then. Speak it in Welsh.
I can speak English, my lord, as well as you. When I was trained up in the English court, where, being but young, I framed to the harp many an English ditty lovely well, and gave the tongue a helpful ornament, a virtue that was never seen in you.
Marry, and I am glad of it with all my heart. I had rather be a kitten and cry mew than one of these same meter ballot mongers. I had rather hear a brazen candlestick turned or a dry wheel grate on the axle tree, and that would set my teeth nothing on edge, nothing so much as mincing poetry. 'Tis like the forced gait of a shuffling nag.
Come, you shall have turn.
I do not care! I'll give thrice so much land to any well-deserving friend, but in the way of bargain, mark ye me, I'll cavil on the 9th part of a hair. Are the indentures drawn? Shall we be gone?
The moon shines fair. You may away by night. I'll haste that I turn withal. Break with your wives of your departure hence. I am afraid my daughter will run mad. So much she doted on her Mortimer.
Fie, Cousin Percy, how you cross my father! I cannot choose. Sometimes he angers me with telling me of the mold warp and the ant, of the dream of Merlin and his prophecies, and of a dragon and a finless fish, a clip-winged griffin and a molten raven, a couching lion and a ramping cat, and such a deal of skimble-scamble stuff as puts me from my faith. I tell you what, he held me last night at least 9 hours in reckoning up the several devils' names that were his lackeys. I cried, "Hum!" and "Well, go to!" but marked him not a word. Oh, he is as tedious as a tired horse, a railing wife, worse than a smoky house. I had rather live with cheese and garlic in a windmill far than feed on cates and have him talk to me in any summer house in Christendom. In faith, he is a worthy gentleman, exceedingly well read and profited in strange concealments, valiant as a lion and wondrous affable and as bountiful as mines of India. Shall I tell you, cousin, he holds your temper in a high respect, and curbs himself even of his natural scope when you come cross his humor. Faith, he does. I warrant you that man is not alive, might so have tempted him as you have done, without the taste of danger and reproof. But do not use it oft. Let me entreat you.
Faith, my lord, you are too wilful blame, and since your coming hither have done enough to put him quite besides his patience. You must needs learn, Lord, to amend this fault, though sometimes it show greatness, courage, blood, and that's the dear disgrace that enters you. Yet oftentimes it doth present harsh rage, defect of manners, want of government, pride, haughtiness, opinion, and disdain, the least of which haunting a nobleman loseth men's hearts, and leaves behind a stain upon the beauty of all parts besides beguiling them of commendation.
Well, I am schooled. Good manners be your speed. Here come our wives, and let us take our leave. This is the deadly spite that angers me. My wife can speak no English, and I know Welsh.
My daughter weeps. She will not part with you. She'll be a soldier too. She'll to the wars.
Good father, tell her that she and my Aunt Percy shall follow in your conduct speedily.
Mind tweed me them vragen for them.
Fire, Mom, what on a worry for from home?
She is desperate here. A peevish self-willed harlotry, one that no persuasion can do good harm.
I understand thy looks, that pretty Welsh, which thou pourest down from these swelling heavens, I am too perfect in, and but for shame, in such a parley should I answer thee. Chris, 12 you to marry me. I understand thy kisses, now mine, and that's a feeling disputation. But I will never be a truant love, till I have learnt thy language, for thy tongue makes Welsh as sweet as ditties highly penned, sung by a fair queen in a summer's bower, with ravishing division to her lute.
Nay, if you melt, she will run mad.
Oh, blasphemy me! Oh, I am ignorance itself in this.
She bids you on the wanton rushes lay you down, and rest your gentle head upon her lap. And she will sing the song that pleaseth you, and on your eyelids crown the god of sleep, charming your blood with pleasing heaviness, making such difference twixt wake and sleep, as is the difference betwixt day and night, the hour before the heavenly harness team begins his golden progress in the east.
With all my heart I'll sit and hear her sing. By that time will our book, I think, be drawn.
Do so, and those musicians that shall play to you hang in the air 1,000 leagues from hence, and straight they shall be heard. Sit and attend.
Come, Kate, thou art perfect in lying down. Come, quick, quick, that I may lay thy head in thy lap.
Go, ye giddy goose.
Now I perceive the devil understands Welsh. 'Tis no marvel he is so humorous. By a lady, he is a good musician.
Then you should be nothing but musical, for you are altogether governed by humours. Lie still, ye thief, and hear the lady sing in Welsh.
I'd rather hear lady my break howl in Irish.
Wouldst thou have thy head broken?
No,
Then be still.
neither.
'Tis a woman's fault. Now God help thee. To the Welsh lady's bed.
What's that?
Peace. She sings.
Come, Kate, I'll have your song too.
Not mine, in good sooth. Not yours, in good sooth. Heart, you swear like a comfort maker's wife. Not you in good sooth, and as true as I live, and as God shall mend me, and as sure as day, and give us such sauciness surety for thy oaths, as if thou never walkest further than Finsbury. Swear me, Kate, like a lady as thou art, a good mouth-filling oath, and leave in sooth in such protest of peppered gingerbread to velvet gods and Sunday citizens. Come, sing. I will not sing. 'Tis the next way to turn tailor or be red-breast teacher, and the indentures be drawn. I'll away within these 2 hours, and so come in when ye will.
Come, Lord Mortimer. You're as slow as hot Lord Percy is on fire to go. By this our book is drawn, we'll but seal, and at the horse immediately.
With all my heart.
Lords, give us leave. The Prince of Wales and I must have some private conference. But be near at hand, for we shall presently have need of you. I know not whether God will have it so, for some displeasing service I have done, that in his secret doom, out of my blood, he'll breed revengement and a scourge for me. But thou dost in thy passage of life make me believe that thou art only mocked for hot vengeance and a rod of heaven to punish my mistreadings. Tell me else. Could such inordinate and low desires, such poor, such bare, such lewd, such mean attempts, such barren pleasures, rude society, as thou art matched withal and grafted to, accompany the greatness of thy blood and hold that level with thy princely heart?
So please your majesty, I would I could quit all offences with as clear excuse as well as I am doubtless I can purge myself of many. I am charged with all. Yet such extenuation let me beg, as, in reproof of many tales devised, which off the ear of greatness needs must hear by smiling pick-thanks and base newsmongers, I may for some things true wherein my youth hath faulty, wandered, and irregular, find pardon on my true submission.
God pardon thee! Yet let me wonder, Harry, at thy affections, which do hold a wing quite from the flight of all thy ancestors. Thy place in council thou hast rudely lost, which by thy younger brother is supplied, and art almost an alien to the heart of all the court and princes of my blood. The hope and expectation of thy time is ruined, and the soul of every man prophetically do forethink thy fall. And I so lavish of my presence been, so common hackneyed in the eyes of men, so stale and cheap to vulgar company, opinion that did help me to the crown, had still kept loyal to possessions, and left me in reputeless banishment, a fellow of no mark, nor likelihood, by being seldom seen, I could not stir. But like a comet, I was wondered at, that men would tell their children, "This is he." Others would say, "Where? Which is Bolingbroke?" And then I stole all courtesy from heaven, and dressed myself in such humility that I did pluck allegiance from men's hearts, loud shouts and salutations from their mouths, even in the presence of the crowned king. Thus did I keep my person fresh and new, my presence like a robe pontifical, ne'er seen but wondered at. And so my state, seldom but sumptuous, showed like a feast, and won by rareness such solemnity. The skipping king, he ambled up and down with shallow jesters and ravished bathing wits, soon kindled and soon burnt. God in his state mingled his royalty with gaping fools, had his great name profaned with their scorns, and gave his countenance against his name, to laugh at jibing boys, and stand the push of every beardless vain comparative, grew a companion to the common street, and he oft himself to popularity, that, being daily swallowed by men's eyes, they surfeited with honey, and began to loathe the taste of sweetness, whereof a little, more than a little, is by much too much. So when he had occasion to be seen, he was but as the cuckoo is in June, heard, not regarded, seen, but with such eyes as sick and blunted with community, afford no extraordinary gaze, such as is bent on sun-like majesty when it shines, seldom in admiring eyes, but rather drowsed and hung their eyelids down, slept in his face, and rendered such aspect as cloudy men use to their adversaries, being with his presence glutted, gorged, and full. And in that very line, Harry, standest thou. For thou hast lost thy princely privilege with vile participation. Not an eye, but is aweary of thy common sight, save mine, which hath desired to see thee more, which now doth that I would not have it do, make blind itself with foolish tenderness.
I shall hereafter, my thrice gracious lord, be more myself.
For all the world, as thou art to this hour, was Richard then when I from France set foot at Ravensburg, and even as I was then, is Percy now. Now, by my scepter and my soul to boot, he hath more worthy interest in the state than thou. The shadow of succession, for of no right, nor collar like to right, he doth feel fields with harness in the realm, turns head against the lion's arm and jaws, and being no more in debt to years than now, leads ancient lords and reverend bishops onto bloody battles and to bruising arms. What never-dying honor hath he got against renowned Douglas, whose high deeds, whose arts, incursions, and great name in arms holds all soldiers' chief majority, in military title capital, through all the kingdoms that acknowledge Christ. Thrice hath this hot spare, Mars in swathing clothes, this infant warrior, in his enterprises discomfited great Douglas, deigned him once, enlarged him, and made a friend of him, to fill the mouth of deep defiance defiance up and shake the peace and safety of our throne. And what say you to this? Percy, Northumberland, the Archbishop's Grace of York, Douglas, Mortimer, capitulate against us and up! But wherefore do I tell these news to thee? Why, Harry, do I tell thee of my foes, which art my nearest and dearest enemy? Thou art like enough, through vassal fear, base inclination, and the start of spleen, to fight against me under Percy's pain, to dog his heels, and curtsy at his frowns, to show how much thou art degenerate!
Do not think so. You shall not find it so. And God forgive them that so much have swayed your majesty's good thoughts away from me. I will redeem all this on Percy's head, and in the closing of some glorious day, be bold to tell you that I am your son, when I will wear a garment all of blood, and stain my favors in a bloody mask, which, washed away, shall scour my shame with it. And that shall be the day whene'er it lights, that this same child of honor and renown, this gallant Hotspur, this all-praised knight, and your unthought of Harry chance to meet, for every honor sitting on his helm, would they were multitudes, and on my head my shames redoubled. For the time will come that I shall make this northern youth exchange his glorious deeds for my indignities. Percy is but my factor, good my lord, to engross up glorious deeds on my behalf, and I will call him to so strict account that he shall render every glory up, yea, even from the slightest worship of his time, or I will tear the reckoning from his heart. This, in the name of God, I promise here, to which if he be pleased I shall perform. I do beseech your majesty may salve the long-grown wounds of my intemperance. If not, the end of life cancels all bands, and I will die 100,000 deaths ere break the smallest parcel of this vow.
100,000 rebels die in this. Thou shalt have charge, and sovereign trust herein. How now, good blunt, thy looks are full of speed.
So hath the business that I come to speak of. Lord Mortimer of Scotland hath sent word that Douglas and the English rebels met the 11th of this month at Shrewsbury. A mighty and a fearful head they are. If promises be kept on every hand, as ever offered foul play in the state.
The Earl of Westmoreland set forth today, with him my son, Lord John of Lancaster, for this advertisement is 5 days old. On Wednesday next, Harry, you shall set forward. On Thursday, we ourselves will march. Our meeting is Bridgenorth. And Harry, you shall march through Gloucestershire. By which account, our business value it. Some 12 days hence, our general forces at Bridgenorth shall meet. Our hands are full of business. Let's away! Advantage feeds him fat while men delay!
Am I not fallen away vilely since this last action? Do I not bate? Do I not dwindle? Why, my skin hangs about me like an old lady's loose gown. I am withered like an old apple john. Well, I'll repent, and that suddenly, while I am in some liking. I shall be out of art shortly, and then I shall have no strength to repent, and I have not forgotten what the inside of a church is made of. I am a peppercorn, a brewer's horse, the inside of a church. Company, villainous company, hath been the spoil of me.
Sir John, you are so fitful you cannot live long.
Why, there it is. Come, sing me a bawdy song, make me merry. I was as virtuously given as a gentleman need to be.
Virtuous enough. Swore little. Dice not above 7 times a week. Went to a bawdy house not above once in a quarter of an hour. Paid money that I borrowed 3 or 4 times. Lived well and in good compass. And now I live out of all order, out of all compass.
Why, you are so fat, Sir John, that you must needs be out of all compass, out of all reasonable compass, Sir John.
Do thou mend thy face, and I'll amend my life. Thou art our admirable. Thou bearest the lantern in the poop, but 'tis in the nose of thee. Thou art the knight of the burning lamp.
Why, Sir John, my face does you no harm.
No, I'll be sworn. I make as good use of it as many a man doth of a death's head or a memento mori. I never see thy face, but I think upon hellfire and Dives that lived in purple, for there he is in his robes, burning, burning. If thou wert any way given to virtue, I would swear by thy face my oath should be by this fire, and that's God's angel. But thou art altogether given over, and wert indeed but for the light in thy face, the sun of utter darkness. When thou ranst up Gad's hill in the night to catch my horse, if I did not think thou hadst been an ignis fatuus or a ball of wildfire, there's no purchase in money. Oh, thou art a perpetual triumph, an everlasting bonfire light. Thou hast saved me 1,000 marks and links and torches, walking with thee in the night betwixt tavern and tavern, but the sack that thou hast drunk me would have bought me lights as good cheap at the dearest chandlers in Europe. I have maintained that salamander of yours with fire any time this 32 years. God reward me for it. This blood! I would my face win your belly. God of mercy, so should I be sure to be hard burnt. How now, Dame Partlet the hen? Have you inquired yet who picked my pocket?
Why, Sir John? What do you think, Sir John? Do you think I keep thieves in my house? I have searched, I have inquired, so has my husband, man by man, boy by boy, servant by servant. The tie of a hair was never lost in my house before.
Ye lie, hostess. Bardoff was shaved and lost many a hair, and I'll be sworn my pocket was picked. Go to, you a woman, go.
Who, I? No, I defy thee. God's light! I was never called so in mine own house before.
Go to, I know you well enough.
No, Sir John, you do not know me, Sir John. I know you, Sir John. You owe me money, Sir John, and now you pick a quarrel to beguile me of it. I bought you 12 shirts to your back.
Doubtless, filthy doubtless. I have given them away to bakers' wives. They have made bolters of them.
Now as I am a true woman, Holland of 8 shillings an ell, you owe me money here besides, Sir John, for your diet and by drinkings, and money lent you 4 and 20 pounds.
He had his part of it. Let him pay.
He? Alas, he is poor. He hath nothing.
How? Poor? Look upon his face. We'll call you rich. Let them coin his nose. Let them coin his cheeks. I'll not pay a denier. What? Will you make a junker of me? Shall I not take mine ease and mine in, but I shall have my pocket picked? I have lost a seal ring of my grandfather's worth 40 mark.
Oh, Jesu! I have heard the prince tell him, I know not how oft, that ring was made of copper.
How? The prince is a jack, a sneak up his blood. And he were here, I would cudgel him like a dog if he would say so.
How now, lad? Is the wind in that door, Faith? Must we all march?
Right, 2 and 2, Newgate fashion.
My lord, I pray you hear me.
What sayest thou, mistress, quickly? How doth thy husband? I love him well. He is an honest man.
Good my lord, hear me.
Pray let her alone, and listen to me.
What sayest thou, Jack?
The other night, I fell asleep here behind the arras and had my pocket picked. This house is turned bawdy house. They pick pockets.
What didst thou lose, Jack?
Wilt thou believe me, Hal? 3 or 4 bonds of 40 pound apiece, and a seal ring of my grandfather's.
A trifle, some 8 penny matter.
So I told him, my lord, and I said I heard your grace say so. And my lord, he speaks most vilely of you, like a foul-mouthed man as he is, and said he would cudgel you.
What? He did not.
There's neither faith, truth, nor womanhood in me else.
There's no more faith in thee than in a stewed prune, no more truth in thee than in a drawn fox. And for womanhood, Maid Marian may be the deputy's wife of the ward to thee. Go, you thing, go!
Say, what thing? What thing?
What thing? Why, a thing to thank God on.
I am no thing to thank God on. I would thou shouldst know it. I am an honest man's wife, and setting thy knighthood aside, thou art a knave to call me so.
Setting thy womanhood aside, thou art a beast to say otherwise.
Say what beast, thou knave, thou?
What beast? Why, an otter.
An otter, Sir John? Why an otter?
Why, she's neither fish nor flesh. A man knows not where to have her.
Thou art an unjust man in saying so. Thou or any man knows where to have me. Thou knave, thou.
Thou sayest true, hostess, and he slanders thee most grossly.
So he doth you, my lord, and said this other day, you ought him £1,000. Sirrah, do I owe you £1,000?
£1,000, how? 1,000,000. Thy love is worth 1,000,000. Thou owest me thy love.
Nay, my lord, he called you Jack, and said he would cuddle you.
Did I, Bardolph? Indeed, Sir John? You said so. Yea, to be said my ring was copper.
I say 'tis copper. Darest thou be as good as thy word now?
Why, how? Thou knowest as thou art but man, I dare. But as thou art prince, I fear thee as I fear the roaring of a lion's whelp.
And why not as the lion?
The king himself is to be feared as the lion. Dost thou think I'll fear thee as I fear thy father? Nay, and I do. I pray God my girdle break.
Oh, if it should, how would thy guts fall about thy knees? But, sirrah, there's no room for faith, truth, nor honesty in this bosom of thine. It is all filled up with guts and midriff. Charge an honest woman with picking thy pocket? Why, thou wholesome, impudent, embossed rascal! If there were anything in thy pocket but tavern reckonings, memorandums of bawdy houses, and one poor pennyworth of sugar candy to make thee long-winded, if thy pocket were enriched with any other injuries but these, I am a villain. And yet you will stand to it. You will not pocket up wrong. Art thou not ashamed?
Dost thou hear, Hal? Thou knowest, in the state of innocency Adam fell, and what should poor Jack Falstaff do in the days of villainy? Thou seest, I have more flesh than another man, and therefore more frailty. You confess then? You picked my pocket?
It appears so by the story.
Hostess, I forgive thee. Go make ready breakfast. Love thy husband. Look to thy servants, cherish thy guests. Thou shalt find me tractable to any honest reason. Thou seest I am pacified still. May prithee be gone! Now how? To the news at court for the robbery, lad. How was that answered?
Oh, my sweet beef, I must still be good angel to thee. The money is paid back again.
Oh! I do not like that paying back. 'Tis a double labor.
I am good friends with my father, and may do anything.
Rob me the exchequer the first thing thou doest, and do it with unwashed hands too. Do, my lord.
I have procured thee, Jack, a charge of foot.
I would it had been of horse. Where shall I find one that could steal well? Oh, for a fine thief of the age of 22 or thereabouts, I am heinously unprovided. Well, God be thanked for these rebels. They offend none but the virtuous. I laud them, I praise them.
Bardolph,
My lord?
go bear this letter to Lord John of Lancaster, to my brother John, this to my Lord of Westmoreland. Go, Peto, to horse, for thou and I have 30 miles to ride yet ere dinner time. Jack, meet me tomorrow in the Temple Hall at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. There shalt thou know thy charge, and there receive money and order for their furniture. The land is burning. Percy stands on high. Either we or they must lower lie.
brave world. Hostess, my breakfast come. Oh, I could wish this tavern were my drum.